be. There we go. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Geekday podcast. We're turning your weekday into a geek day. It's been a long day. I'm one of your hosts, looking terrible as ever, Robert Tijerina, and with me today we have the new face of the Geekday podcast and Miss Popceptive herself, Miss Natalie Ibarra. Nat, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. I've been just chilling all day. I feel like my day has not been as hectic as your day has been, Robert.
Oh, brother, we'll get into that in a little
She's
bit.
rubbing it in.
I know. She's
Yeah,
like, oh,
I've been
hey.
relaxing all day.
Well, I've been putting up curtains and just dying. But also with us today, we have the Dark Soul, Mr. Dan Gomez. Dan, how you doing, Doug?
Doing all right. First day off since Saturday. I'm tired.
My man, all right. Hey, you gotta get that bag, am I right?
Yep, get these breadcrumbs.
These breadcrumbs. Oh, God, it has been a really interesting week, hasn't it, Dan? I know, like...
Indeed.
I just moved here to Austin. I've been here for, what,
Golf clap.
Golf clap, everyone golf clap. God, how long have I been here? So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so about 5 days now. And I'm still doing things. Like this thing I literally just put up right before the show. And it's backwards. So I gotta fix that later on. Try to figure out what to do there, but as of right now, I'm just chilling. Also, right before the show, I was telling Nat that I was adjusting my mic because I put like a shelf above my setup, and I just moved my mic just a little bit, and it all just punched me right in the face, and it gave me like a wake up call that I needed for the show. But so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But what have y'all guys been watching or like doing or playing this week, guys?
Matt, do you have anything?
Yes, I actually was watching the Umbrella Academy. Season 2 dropped last Friday, I believe it was. And me and my family had watched the first season, and so we were eagerly awaiting this second season, and when it dropped, we pretty much binge watched as fast as we could. So yeah, I've watched the whole season. I finished it, and it was really good. I really liked it. I'm a fan of Umbrella Academy. I don't think you two have seen it. No,
Not
right?
yet. It's on my watch list. I know we want to talk about it soon.
Yes,
but can you give me like a pitch of the show? Like, I mean, I know it's like about like superheroes or something like that, or like
Yeah,
like,
kind
special
of.
abilities.
Yes, yeah. So it's this family that has these special abilities, and so essentially it follows these 7 people, and they have different varying abilities. You know, one's super strong, one has this like ability of persuasion. She can rumor anybody to do anything. You have one that talks to the dead, and so these 7 people were adopted when they were younger into this family, and they were raised in this place called the Umbrella Academy. And so they were trained and raised, but of course, everything has a price. So they had a horrible childhood. The person that raised them, their dad, was just like super strict and like detached and cold, and so they all grew up with parent issues, and now it's them as adults, and they're kind of trying to manage everything, and there's an apocalypse coming, and so they're trying to figure out how to stop the apocalypse and also get along with one another. Some of them get along a little too well,
Okay.
but
the Cullen family, where they're kind of just like intermingling. All right. Yeah.
but
Ranger Blue in the
it's
chat
pretty good.
says X-Men, but the school kind of fails. It's like, is that
Yeah,
okay,
it's a little janky. Everyone has daddy issues.
All right, nice. Dan, what about you, man? What have you been watching and playing?
Well, last Thursday, July 30th, the Transformers Netflix show finally came out, and I was so excited. I binged that in like 2 hours. It was so cool to finally get to watch that. I liked it a whole lot. I watched it one time through, and then I got through half of it again, just to kind of remind myself on what I watched. The premise was almost exactly what I had anticipated, really grim, dark. The good guys are at the edge of being wiped out completely. The bad guys have completely taken over. But actually, what was really cool about it is the line between good and bad was very gray in this show. The good guys were doing things that were questionable, and the bad guys were not all so bad.
Okay.
They just had their direction was in a different mindset, but it was for the greater good. And I thought that was a really cool dynamic because a lot of the times with those old 80s inspired cartoons, it's like the good guys are really good and the bad guys are really bad. But in the show, you see that Megatron and Optimus Prime are two sides of the same coin, and they each share their own strengths in terms of saving their home planet Cybertron and also their own flaws. And there was also just a lot of cool twists on classic characters that I didn't expect to see, some characters that appeared that I didn't expect to see, and I'm really excited for season 2 whenever that pops up.
Wow, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. It really kind of like made me feel like, oh, I need to check it out. And the way you're talking about it now, I'm probably definitely gonna check it out this week. I want to make sure.
When did you say that it dropped?
July 30th, so last Thursday, I think.
Yeah. It was. I remember seeing it on like either your Snap or on Twitter, where I was like,
I posted everywhere about it because
yeah.
I was so excited.
I'm so ready. I might have saw it on Facebook actually. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna check that out. But
yeah, it's super short. It's 6 episodes. Each episode's like 24 minutes long.
Oh, nice.
Super easy to watch. You don't really need to know anything about any of the characters. It's kind of just a sit back, relax, enjoy what they have to offer.
I watched a lot, even though I've been like moving. I've actually watched a lot of stuff, mostly because that's like all I could do. Like it was just like I'm done setting up for the day, or like I'm done or whatever. And then I also needed to catch up for the show. So I watched The Old Guard, but we're going to be talking about that next week. I'll just say it was all right. I can see why people really liked it a lot, and I could see there's a lot of really cool things about it. Not particularly my cup of tea, but another thing that I watched Palm Springs, and I put this in the group chat with y'all guys, and I was saying y'all need to watch this movie. Like, it's not a 10 out of 10. It's not like gonna be, it's not Whiplash, or it's not like, like, oh my god, like I'm gonna sit down here and this is gonna change my mind about everything. But it's, believe it or not, I am a sucker for rom-coms. I love rom-coms with all my, I do. I know Dan's like, what?
I didn't expect that.
I love rom-coms, and this is produced by the Lonely Island Company, which is Andy Samberg and
no kidding.
Yeah, so I forgot what the other two names are. Not Jorah. Well, anyways,
that's Game of Thrones, my
yeah,
friend.
That is Game of Thrones. So it's the three of them, and so the first one, like, movie they made together was Popstar, which is also amazing, but. This movie is about Andy Samberg's character. He is living like Groundhog's Day. Basically, yeah. So like every day he lives the exact same thing over and over and over again, until finally he accidentally brings in this woman with her. Like they go into a cave. Like to start his day over, he either dies, falls asleep, or goes into this cave and starts it over. So he's like. Something interesting happens, which I'm not going to say why he's going into this cave, but he's like, don't come in this cave, do not come in this cave at all, please don't, and she ends up following him into the cave. So he wakes up the next morning, and she's like, what did you do to me? I'm living the exact same day over and over again, and, it's just like, it's really interesting to see how Andy Samberg goes, because like, he's a comedic actor, but in this movie, you can see him, like, being absolutely miserable, and I love, like, it's the perspective of someone that completely hates life, finds no meaning in it, super existential and super nihilistic, where it's like nothing makes sense anymore. I've tried to kill myself multiple times, blah 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 blah. And then you have this brand new woman that's like, hey, we can get out of this. I promise, we can get out of this. And so kind of seeing these two characters bounce off each other. Also, Kristen Milotti, I believe that's what her name is. She's the mother in How I Met Your Mother. Like she's fantastic in this movie. She's so good. And I cannot recommend this movie enough. I promise you guys, if you watch this movie, you're going to laugh and you're going to feel like really sad. It's not like a stereotypical rom-com or whatever, but it's like one of the best ones that I've seen in a while. And I definitely...
What streaming service is it on?
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. So if you...
That's the one I don't have.
Oof. Nah, I might lend you my password so you can watch it.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's like, it is honestly that good that I'm like, please. I've talked to other people about it, and people have their own opinions, but they're wrong. So, but definitely check it out. If anyone in the chat hasn't seen it yet, check it out. But now that we're done with that, I think we're gonna get right into our one of our favorite segments here on the show, Geekday Civil War. This week we had Dan come up with the questions.
Wait.
After I two, what's up?
Should we say what happened for the Twitter poll for last week's?
Oh
Before we
yeah.
get into this week's.
Oh yeah, let's
Believe it or-
talk about
Believe it or not, we tied. We tied 14 to 14, and I think that's hilarious. Like,
That's
I mean,
pretty good.
it's good that like people like both like Hunchback of Notre Dame and whatever your answer was of Jungle Book. Yeah,
If
there
you
it
don't
is.
follow us on Twitter.
If you don't
there
follow
you
us
go.
on Twitter, it is at the Geekday.
Shame on
Geekday
you, first of
Podcast.
all, and then also, yes.
Also, yeah, please follow us. But yeah, Dan and I tied 14 to 14 out of 28 votes. I don't know how we're gonna. Honestly, I think like we should just be fine. Like just like.
Yeah, we'll just leave it as
we'll
is.
just leave it as it is because I didn't come up with like another question to break the tie, so it's whatever. But this week, so here are the scores as of right now. I am at 2 points. Dan is at 2 points, and Nat is at 1 point.
Boo.
So this week, Nat has a chance to owe me possibly, because I mean my answers were kind of like literally as soon as Dan sent me the text, I was like, "Here are my answers," and I didn't really think too much about it. So we'll see.
I
So
kind of
Dan-
changed my answers multiple times for Dan.
Yeah,
It
she was
like,
unsure.
Wow.
And this one, maybe this. Oh no, this one.
Okay, we'll see. I want to hear what exactly you switched in a bit. But okay, Dan, go ahead and take it away, man.
All right, so I'm taking over this week's segment of the Civil War. I am the host, and this is the most that I will ever be doing on this segment. So,
Is that
the
what
question
I sound like
that
every day? It's just I am the host with the most.
yeah, no, that was my impression of you. I hope you like it.
Thanks, man. It was spot on. I like it.
All right, so I asked these two beautiful people what they thought would be a great topic to talk about that they have in common, and their most, I guess,
Popular.
most
Yeah.
popular one, it would be the MCU, Marvel movies. So I came up with two questions, and the first question is, who is the most powerful Avenger? And the second question is, who is the most useless Avenger? Now, I came up with these because I thought the characters in the movies kind of vary from, well, they really vary from their comic book counterparts, as well as their power levels. And there has been a lot of controversy surrounding that, and I think that that could spark some pretty interesting discussion. So, without further ado, let's see who goes first.
All right.
Nat?
Nat, do you want to do heads or tails?
Let me summon the energy of the universe.
Alright.
Heads.
Heads. I'm flipping, and we got heads. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll let you go first. I will be nice. I'll be a lady and let the gentleman
The gentleman
go
go
first.
Wow. I set the precedent for that. Yes. All right. I can go ahead and do the timing this time around.
All right. Cool. So
wait,
we're
what's
gonna
the
get-
time? How much time are we getting again?
It's
45 seconds.
Yeah, and then 30
And then
for
30.
for a
Okay.
rebuttal. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Dan,
All
tell me
right.
where to start.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
The strongest Avenger in the MCU is Scarlet Witch. This woman is just so fantastic. Honestly, the only thing I really need to talk about is the part in Avengers Endgame where she literally almost destroys Thanos, and Homeboy has to call down an entire barrage on top of her just to stop her. And what does she do? She just brushes them. She like creates a shield and brushes them off. Like, this woman is absolutely crazy. Like, where she can literally change the minds of like other Avengers, of other people, strong-minded people, with just like a little like, you know what I'm talking about? Just like a little. And then they're like, oh yeah, I see like my worst nightmares, or like, you know, like I'm like, oh, I should go do this. So honestly, I've relinquished the rest of my time because that's all I really have to say.
All right. So Scarlet Witch, that is a great answer, actually. I've always considered her to be one of the strongest, even in the comic books. She has powers that I think very few heroes in the universe understand. But let's see what Nat has to say. Nat, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All All right, in 3, 2, 1.
So my answer was Doctor Strange, and so I believe, well, not believe, he is the most powerful sorcerer in existence right now in the MCU. He has a super high intelligence, so this really allows him to kind of outsmart a lot of his opponents. He has a lot of creativity, which allows like endless amounts of possibilities for the amounts of spells that he can cast. He has been schooled in a lot of different arts, magical arts, and he has access to a lot of different artifacts that he has readily available. You mentioned that Scarlet Witch fought Thanos. Also, he went head to head with Thanos in Infinity War, and he held his ground pretty well. Wow, he had 4 Infinity Stones, may I add. And
That's time, Nat.
That's it.
Penalty? Half point off? Is that what I'm thinking? Or half point? I'm just kidding.
No. He used the time stone to extend her time a little bit.
Oh, okay. Damn you, Doctor Strange. Okay.
All right. Very, very good arguments. I hadn't considered some of those things.
Yeah.
So, Rob, do you think that you can sway me?
I think so. I think I can sway you.
All right. Are you ready for your 30-second rebuttal?
I am.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Well, let's get it started. One for Infinity War. When you say that he took on Thanos he didn't take on Thanos by himself. He had the help of a bunch of other Avengers with him. We had Spider-Man jumping around or whatever. Literally, Wanda is just like, and then done. Like, he's done. Like, he's literally just calling for help. He has to completely call down an entire army to just destroy one woman. That's it. That's literally it. She can go 1v1, and while okay, I'm done. Woo.
All right. Okay, Nat, are you ready for your rebuttal?
yes, I am.
Okay. All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so Wanda is very powerful. Like you mentioned earlier, Dan, how there's kind of differences between the comics and movies. And I want to say that Wanda in the MCU has not tapped into her full potential. While Doctor Strange is consistently getting stronger, he is heading from Doctor Strange to Infinity War. He has gotten a lot stronger. He has more artifacts in the Sanctum. He has better spells, and he's continuously growing.
I just want to say that she said that she's also still growing. So she basically made my point for me again. So it's whatever. Kiddo Granger in the chat says, I thought Scarlet Witch 2 at first, but Natalie convinced me. Well, Kiddo Granger, fight me. Send me your address, and I'll drive from Austin, and we'll fight.
All right. Let's see.
I mean, there's only one answer. We're only one right answer here, and so it's just.
The last thing we need is another tie.
I know.
Yeah.
On Twitter, when we post whatever on Twitter, do not make it a tie.
She's not wrong. So, yes, Rob, absolutely. Scarlet Witch has powers that could literally break the mind of Thanos. That is indisputable. But
don't you butt me.
I was thinking that I was going to go for you, but I had not considered the fact that Doctor Strange basically became the strongest sorcerer almost overnight. And yeah, Scarlet Witch.
Which is BS. That's what I'll throw out there.
Hey, MCU's doing their own thing.
That's just how it's going. And I think because of the fact that Doctor Strange has grown exponentially since his debut in his solo movie, and Scarlet Witch has been around since Age of Ultron, and she still is very unstable, I think I'm going to have to give it to Doctor Strange.
Wow.
So
what can I say?
Paradox Theory says Deadpool breaks reality. Just saying.
Just saying.
See, if you had chosen Deadpool, I probably would have given it to you.
That's a good choice. But he's not in the MCU.
He'll soon be in the MCU.
Soon to be.
Ooh,
yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that video of the creator of Deadpool literally lighting up Disney, but we'll talk about that. That's another question for
yeah.
another time.
We'll get to that. Alrighty, guys, are you ready for the second half of the segment?
I am ready for the second half.
I'm very interested to hear Robert's answer.
Dan did not like my answer, but
I did not like his answer. I felt very, very offended by it.
Attacked.
All right.
Yes, indeed. All right, so who's going first? Nat?
Nat's going first.
Okay.
Alrighty, Natalie, are you ready for your argument?
Yes, I am. I believe so.
All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so I believe the most useless or weakest Avenger in the MCU right now, or character in the MCU right now, is Mantis. The reason that I'm saying this is because she's just so very different from her comic counterpart. In the comics, she's very strong, very assertive, very confident in herself, and in the MCU, they just basically stripped her of all of that. She, does not have martial as much. We haven't seen a lot of combat training from her or fighting from her like she does in the comics. She has to get, they've made it to where she has to be in really close proximity of someone in order to use her empath powers. That causes her to rely on other people as opposed to just doing stuff by herself.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. I think Nat
All
might
right.
2-0 me this week, to be honest. She came to play this week. All right.
Oh, yeah.
All
They
right.
just did her so dirty.
I don't disagree. I really don't disagree.
Okay, well, I'll ask this question later, but okay, yeah, let me know when to go.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
I believe the dumbest and weakest character inside the MCU is Ant-Man. No disrespect to Paul Rudd, I love Paul Rudd to death, but anytime he tries to use his growing power, he literally like just passes out. So basically he can just shrink. What are you gonna do? Yeah, he can just punch. But honestly, there's literally nothing else you can do. I understand with the whole Mantis thing. At least she has an actual superpower where she can do empathy. Literally, if you take Ant-Man outside of his costume, he's literally just a dude. He's literally just I'm running around. I can't really do anything. And the fact that his entire movie has to deal with him trying to fix his broken suit or trying to live with a broken suit shows how much problems that there is for eventually. Okay, I'm done. Bad take. Ethan says bad take, Rob.
Looks like chat's against you today, Rob.
Greatest chat ever for me, to be honest.
Right? If you're the host, you get absolutely blasted in chat. Can we get an F for Rob in the chat, please?
Please get an F for Rob, please.
All right, Natalie, are you ready for your rebuttal?
Yes, I am.
All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Also, the MCU, as I was saying earlier, just did her dirty. They made her quite aloof and stupid. She doesn't really know what's going on. She's not portrayed very brightly. She's I want to, take names, kick butt, or something like that. I can't remember what she says, but she has demonstrated no leader qualities. Her fiery personality has just gone away. She's very subservient and she was abused by ego, and she's just useless now.
Standing on useless. I like it.
Wow.
All right, Rob, are you ready for your 30-second rebuttal?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Pray to the one above all, you get this. In 3, 2,
I'm sorry, but Mantis has a lot more to do. I mean, she is a part of a team, and that team is able to help carry her to whatever. The fact that you say that just because that she's emotionally damaged, that she's she can't grow or she can't take a while for her to grow. I mean, I don't believe that's a really good take. No offense, but I mean, Paul Rudd is literally fighting. He's fighting, but all he can do is fight with a little whoop. That's literally. And if he goes big, he's I'm just gonna die real quick.
All right, and that is
I like your sound effects.
Thank you.
Very good. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, just God damn it. I just want to point out the fact that even Nat's mom gave me an F in the chat, so thank you, Natalie Ibarra. I appreciate that.
All right. You get a pity point. Just kidding, you don't.
Oh.
All right, so Mantis and Ant-Man.
I am offended, Robert.
I am also quite offended,
Take away Paul Rudd and think about the actual character. I'm not talking about Paul Rudd.
Even
but I love
as a character, though.
Oh, he's quirky. Yeah. Oh, come on. How many quirky characters do we have in the MCU? I'm sorry. Look, I can count. Literally. Okay, so I'm not gonna be angry. I'm not.
Thanos is my favorite quirky character in the MCU. So, I really wanted to see what you brought to the table, Rob, because you chose Ant-Man. That was a very hot take, I think, when discussing
very spicy.
The idea of most useless or weakest Avenger.
Mm.
I gotta say, I think it might be Mantis.
Wow. I got
You
2
know,
owed. You 2 owe someone.
Ant-Man, he was able to shrink, but
He
keep.
survived going into the subatomic.
You just read the chat, Natalie.
Yeah, they just said that. That's a very great point. Thank you so much.
Lest we forget, he doesn't just shrink now. He is now also Giant Man. You know, he's basically what Hank Pym was when he became the Wasp in the comic book.
Let's calm down.
So I'm just saying, and yes, Ranger Blue, thank you. Ant-Man could have definitely killed Thanos, and I think we all know how he could have done it.
That was my favorite theory going into that movie, by the way.
That's also my favorite Led Zeppelin album, In Through the Outdoor. All right, so that concludes this week's Civil War segment. Thank you all for watching. Natalie, that brings you up to 3 points.
Yep.
That is 3 for 3.
Natalie is now leading 3, and then Dan has 2, and then I have 2. So we'll see how this goes. So that means next week I'm in charge again. So we'll see.
Also, I will be posting the question on Twitter, so make sure you follow us so that way you guys can vote and see. Maybe Robert will be able to pull out a point from this week.
Please God.
Maybe. But then again, maybe.
Or maybe we'll just tie again.
Oh my gosh.
Pepe hands.
That better not become a thing.
Just tie every week. That's just everyone's gonna be.
Yeah, every week it's just a tie.
All right. So thank you very much for joining us in that Civil War part. We're actually gonna get a little bit more into like the review / actual news part of the podcast. So let's get into it, guys. The first thing that I want to talk about is we made Natalie finish watching The Boys. We literally made her. When I literally put it into the group chat where I was like, "Oh hey, The Boys season 2 trailer came out. Has everyone seen it?" And she's like, "I've literally never seen it." And then later on, we find out that she watched like the first 7 episodes, but never finished it.
Yeah.
So
I rewatched it. I guess I watched a lot of the episodes, I guess, before I went to bed, and then I fall asleep super fast. Yeah. So I rewatched it this week, excuse me, with my boyfriend, and so we were rewatching it, and this was his first time watching it, my first time seeing pieces of it, and so it was super crazy. It was really crazy. I really liked it. I liked how they just it's just interesting to see how these superheroes could easily get these god complexes and feel like they are just untouchable. And so seeing that aspect of it, seeing the kind of corporate side of it, and seeing how there's these companies trying to get superheroes into the military is just really interesting. I really liked Frenchie, and I just fell in love with Frenchie all over again. And Huey is sometimes I just wanted to smack him through the screen.
He does a lot of dumb things, but I love his character to death. I mean, talking about The Boys, it's like I think since I saw the trailer, I've rewatched the entire series twice, and that's not a lie. Like I've literally just either putting it on in the background or actually vividly rewatching it, and I just forgot how much I love Starlight and Annie. God, she's such an amazing character in this show. Where it sucks to see what she has to go through to become a part of the Seven, and what she has to endure. And it's that that sexual harassment culture that we hear a lot about today, and how she doesn't give into it, where she's like, no, I'm not leaving, and it's partially because of Huey being like, hey, you get knocked in your ass, are you gonna stay down there, or are you gonna get back up? But she's like, I'm gonna fight, I'm a fighter, and I'm gonna rip this dude's head off or whatever, and just
she holds her ground.
She holds her ground, and just to see how complex these characters are for being a superhero show, but it's so much more complicated than that. Yeah. Like you said, these god complexes, and how that can be you see that in Homelander, and then you see God, spoiler alerts if you haven't seen the show yet. It's been out for about a year now, so please go watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. But nothing will ever have me get over that scene in the airplane with Maeve and Homelander. Obviously the first 15 minutes of the show of A-Train running through Robin is super oh my god, but that was just seeing the airplane scene where it's hey, it's Homelander's fault that he messed up, he shouldn't have shot how he did with his laser eyes or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, we gotta go," and then Maeve's like, "No, like I need to." Like you see like the still that's good in Maeve, like you know that she's not a lost cause, and yeah, and then just seeing like a Homelander like kind of just corrupts her, and just like, "No, we're leaving now," and he like threatens to kill all these kids and stuff like that, and it's just
Yeah.
like it's absolutely just bonkers. Dan, what about you, man? What is,
Yeah, no, I was, every time I think of the boys, I always think of that scene specifically just because I remember before I had seen it, you and our good friend Ryan had been pushing for me to see it, and I was like, I don't have an Amazon account. I'll get to it when I get to it. But y'all kept bringing up the airplane scene. You're like, once you get to the airplane scene, you're gonna be like, holy cow, this is not messing around.
mm-mm.
And I was like, well, we'll see. We'll see. I was a little skeptical. I thought y'all were overhyping it. No, that scene was nuts. Um, it it was so real in that fantasy world that they weaved,
Mm-hmm.
and it made a whole lot of sense, and it really showed how disgustingly corporate a lot of these heroes are, and I feel like that is meant to reflect a lot of the things that we're seeing today in all kinds of corporations and politicians, that are supposed to help the people, and yet they are actually incredibly selfish and don't really care about the job that they do, even if the
Yeah.
job is meant to help people.
Yeah, you see like the backdoor deals and the blackmails and stuff like that, and
Right.
like
The hypocrisy
yeah,
and
the
all.
hypocrisy of like just these characters and stuff like that. Like it's absolutely bonkers, and like I like how you don't see what's it called, you don't see Homelander's true side until like maybe 4 episodes in, like and like he's like kind of like not necessarily like the goody boy, because you can kind of tell if there's something wrong, but as
Mhm.
soon as like they find Translucent's body, he's like,
Yeah.
no more Mr. Nice Guy. Like it's like we're under attack, and like it's go time, and it's just so interesting, and like so seeing like how the first season ended and seeing like where kind of like how the second season is more. Are y'all guys really excited for this, or like what is like on your scale of 1 to 10? How excited are you for the show?
I'm super excited. I think I rewatched the trailer when you sent it to us earlier today, and I'm excited to kind of see where this goes. The ending left off on such like a, oh, like crap, like what's gonna happen type of thing. And so like what we thought to be true is not true, and so I'm interested in seeing how these characters are going to tackle it. I know it's going to be a little bit of a like time jump between where we left off on season 1 to where we are now, but I'm interested in seeing like that. I'm also interested in seeing this new character, Storm
Stormfront.
something.
Stormfront.
Stormfront,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And seeing the kind of relationship with Homelander. I think Homelander was very detached. Like, I think that's what makes the plane scene so memorable, is you just realize how detached he is from um, like this reality and like humanity. And so the one kind of link he had to something, he doesn't have anymore. And so now he kind of has a new one, and I'm interested in kind of exploring if that's going to be like a new link for him, or just seeing like the what if this will change him in any way. I don't know that it will. He's so, I feel like, far gone that I don't know. But I'm really excited to kind of see what direction that they're going in. Yeah. What do y'all think?
Dan, what you, man? You want to take it from here, or you want me to take it?
No, I got it. Yeah. I'm very excited for season 2. Because like you said, it ends and it's like, that's it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no more for us to see right now. Like, you just dropped this big old bomb and you're gonna make us wait. Um, I am also very excited to see the dynamic between Homelander and Stormfront, because from what I can gather, Stormfront is basically another Homelander, but quote unquote bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we all know that, well, spoilers, I guess, that Homelander himself is not good.
Yeah.
So how can you have a corporate made bad guy fighting a secretly bad guy? I think that's gonna involve some pretty interesting stuff. And Joe, our good friend Joe, Rob, he has read the comic books of the boys, and a lot of the stuff they did change for the show, I guess, to keep it interesting, not keep it so similar, so that way people could get surprised at certain stuff. But what is the name of the character that doesn't speak? It's like Black Noir, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, Black Noir.
Okay. We still haven't found out who he is, but our
That's a
good
huge
friend
thing in the
Joe.
comics, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So that is a thing that I really hope that they do show, and if they do show it, I hope it's not at the very end, because for the people who don't know who he is, that will be a major bomb, and it would just be so cool to see the way that they do that in the show. Also, I'm just looking forward to all the absolute gory action that looks like it's gonna happen. It looks like it's gonna be like 10 times crazier.
It looks like
this
there's gonna
time.
be so much more deaths this season. Because I mean,
Oh yeah.
what, there was like 4 really? I mean, this season. I'm trying to think. I'm not gonna say it because we haven't seen them yet, but I think there's like not really that many, to be honest.
Yeah.
You have that minor character. You have Robin, and then you have the T character. We're not gonna say again their name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5.
Dolphin, an animal.
Oh my god, that's so funny, but it was so sad at the same time. Like, honestly, that's one of the most problematic characters for me, which is not the dolphin, but the D.
Yeah, that dolphin.
That dolphin.
Character of the dolphin.
That's one of the only things I kind of had an interesting problem with in the show, where it's like how he's the bad guy, towards Starlight. What he does is completely unforgivable, and they can't redeem him in any way. But the way that they treat him like a comic relief, he's the awkward man of the show, where it's like you're nobody. You're like, go talk to fish. Anytime there's a water adjacent crime, he's there. And they send him off to Ohio and to be like basically like a mascot for their SeaWorld or whatever. And you see him going through his own thing. Like, he gets taken advantage of himself there with that girl and stuff like that. So kind of showing it. So I'm really interested to see how they take that, because it looks like he's gonna have a return to the 7.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He was there with a few of them in some of the like quick scenes in the trailer.
There's a clip that they released of the boys going through a whale, which it's hilarious. But
hilariously gross.
Hilariously gross. Which is how the show is. It's just a hilariously gross show.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, like with Stormfront, I'm super excited to see that. Ethan Trejo the Giant says, "Do you think Stormfront will be a corporate bad guy but secretly a good guy?" I think she's gonna be worse than Homelander, to be honest. I think like she's gonna try, because it looks like they try to team up, but I think she's gonna try to stab him in the back, and that's gonna go bad for her. I think that's a way that they can keep Homelander, give him more motivation to go even worse than what he is now. And by the end of the season, I think she'll be a casualty. But yeah, I mean, now that we're done talking, I mean, anyone else have anything to say about the boys?
I do, actually.
Dan?
So, not to spoil the plane scene, because I don't want... I want people to experience that themselves. So I guess if you don't want to hear what this is about, because it does spoil a little bit about it, mute the podcast or just pause it, skip ahead a little bit. But I found out also from Joe that in the comic books, the plane scene is very different. And when I heard what actually happens, I was like so blown away.
I think we can say it. Yeah, we can say what it was, because it's not what it's obviously not going to show up in the show.
Yeah. Well, just in case somebody doesn't want to hear that. But so in the comic books, Natalie, instead of the plane scene, instead of it being over an ocean, the plane that they are trying to save is the plane that crashed into the World Trade Center.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that, I think, carries a even greater weight than what we saw in the show. Which it still carries a weight in the context of the show. But if it had been that would have been
way more
controversial.
A whole nother level. Yeah.
Definitely controversial.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was a really interesting tidbit that I had no idea about before.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
I'm glad we didn't talk about the whole Black Noir thing. People can go look it up if you want, but it's gonna be a really great.
It's a great surprise.
It's a great surprise once you really see it. Hopefully they do it this season. I would love to because Black Noir is kind of in the background the majority of season. He's also like a comic relief character. He was just there to be like not say anything, but just like give a look and then walk away. Or whatever.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'd be really awesome to see what it is. But let's get on to a little bit of softer news. No more explosions or superheroes or whatever. We're going to be talking about some brand new news that dropped, yesterday or today? Honestly, I'm not too sure.
Yesterday, I believe.
Right?
I think it was yesterday.
That Mulan is finally going to be coming to Disney+. So Mulan will be coming to Disney Plus on September 14th, and the only stipulation is you have to pay $30 to get it. They have said that if you're as long as you are subscribed to Disney Plus, you get to keep the movie. I mean, honestly, good. I think honestly, really good for this. It's good that we're gonna finally be able to see Mulan. Get that release done out of the window. Like Disney can finally make some money off of it. But to me, I think the price tag is pretty weird, to be honest. I mean, like, we've seen, like, these other movies, like Scoob, we talked about last week, where it was one of those first movies that were at the $19.99, was $20 mark, which I think was totally reasonable. But
yeah,
$30 to me is, like, out of this world. And I think Disney, like, again, people are gonna buy. No matter what, it's Disney, it's Mulan, it's people are gonna buy this $30 thing. But do you think, like, this movie is worth $30? Like, do you think... I mean, I understand going to movie theater, buying popcorn and stuff like that. That'd basically be a little bit over $30. But I mean, like, we don't get to keep the movie. Even if if we unsubscribe, that movie's gone. That's not ours. It doesn't like save onto our like Fire Sticks or Xboxes or any smart TVs or anything like that. That I think is gone. So that's $30 out of there. Do y'all think like what do you think about this whole situation?
I think, yeah, I honestly don't know. $30 is just a lot, which I mean, technically it's only $10 more than, because the other one was $20, right?
Yes.
Most of the other ones were $20. I think Invisible Man was also $20 when it came to HBO or something, and that was one that my family like rented out. We had it for like a day or two so that we could watch. But just those, I don't know, like $30 is a lot. I feel like it's a lot. At the same time, like you were saying, we spend more money when we go to the movie theater, and I spend like a lot of money when I go to the movie theaters because I usually go with my family. We're a family of 6, so getting 6 movie tickets, then drinks and popcorn, all that stuff, it's just a ridiculous amount of money. So this technically is still cheaper, and that's going to be my mentality probably when I end up buying this movie.
So you are going to buy this movie?
I think, yeah. Hopefully. We'll see what ends up happening.
All right. Dan, what about you, man?
Well, I don't have a family of 6, and I also really don't have a big interest in seeing this movie. So as a, I guess, outsider, $30 seems pretty steep for something that isn't going to be mine forever, especially a movie, I don't know what else they could have done. I mean, they could have just released it on Disney Plus for everybody to watch indefinitely. I guess that wasn't going to be enough money for them. That wouldn't have drawn people in to subscribe to Disney Plus that have not subscribed yet. I guess they didn't think that would be a big enough pool. But I don't know. I had no interest in seeing the movie before quarantine and all this and that. And now that it's getting released digitally for $30, I'm probably still not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Jess, oh, sorry. Did you want to go ahead?
I was just gonna add. I agree. I think they spent around like 20 million making it the most expensive Disney remake to date, and so I think that's why they were so keen on releasing it with like a price tag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have to agree with what Joss put into the chat, where she said, or they said, you pay to watch it on a huge screen and surround sound is different. I absolutely agree with that. Like, going to movie theaters is an experience. You're not technically paying for the movie. I think you're paying for the sound, paying for the popcorn and stuff like that, which is, $30 again to be at home, to make your own stuff, to like, most people don't have a surround sound system, so they won't really enjoy it like they would there for $30. But to bring that up into question, like that whole thing, do you think that we're gonna see Black Widow and the New Mutants in this sort of treatment? Do you think that they're gonna drop $30 for what's it called for these movies? They're gonna be like, hey, by the way, Black Widow, you can see it next week for $30, or maybe since it's a Marvel movie, $35. And so what's it called? Those numbers are so much higher, like the budget so much higher. And would you be willing to pay for that for like a Marvel movie, or like a New Mutants or Black Widow?
I think it's going to be based solely on how well Mulan does. I think they're probably going to give it a few weeks to see if people are interested in paying those, I guess, premium prices for a movie that they could have paid $10 for in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
For Black Widow and New Mutants, I'm a little conflicted because I do have an interest in seeing Black Widow, a little bit of New Mutants, but mostly Black Widow, just because I'm a huge Marvel fan. Well, I guess MCU fan. But I don't know. I would hope that they would bring them, but at the same time, having to pay $30 for every new release would get pretty pricey. Yeah, it would start to add up after a while, and I don't know. I think at that point I myself personally could probably wait for the theater experience, because you're right, it is an experience, like completely different movie. But when I saw 1917, I saw it in IMAX in the theater, and I don't think I could have ever had that similar experience at home, watching the movie at home. Like it's just something completely different seeing something on the big screen.
Absolutely, yeah. Like Ranger Blue said, what if they bundled the movies with a free trial of Disney Plus? That'd be something nice. I think it'd be actually really cool. It'd be really interesting to be like a $30 thing. Be like, hey, here we go. Also, here's a free week of Disney Plus. See if you like it or whatever. The fact that it's $30 plus a $6.99, payment. You're basically paying 37, almost $40 for this. It doesn't seem fair to me. It doesn't seem fair to me at all. Let's see. Just Justice. I'm just gonna wait for the legal stream.
Illegal streams.
Mulan.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, we got FBI. Hello, police officer. Yes. I don't want to say I feel the same way, but I feel like some of the things, like I'd rather go to someone else's house and pitch in like $10 to be like, yeah. So
that's smart. Yeah.
Disney Disney would be like,
cost.
hey, they're still making their money, but they're not getting $30 directly from me. But let's get into some more Disney news that I thought was really interesting, especially because of the director of this. So Tom Hanks in Pinocchio? ? So Tom Hanks is in discussion to play Geppetto in the upcoming live-action Pinocchio movie. It will be directed by Mr. Robert Zemeckis, who is known for with like Forrest Gump, Castaway, Polar Express, Back to the Future. These great films. So it's said that Hanks has read a script for the movie and immediately contacted Zemeckis and was like, "Hey, I want to be in this movie in some sort of way. I would love to be Geppetto." Blah 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 blah. So would y'all guys be up for a Pinocchio movie? I don't know if y'all actually have seen Pinocchio. I just watched it like a month ago.
I haven't seen Pinocchio in I feel like years, but
same here.
Yeah.
So would y'all be up for a live action? Do you think it would hold up for a live action movie? I think no, to be honest. It's super weird. To have I'm sure to be because Disney with their new live action films are very weird. They don't really. I don't think they think about it. They're just money, money, money. So it'd either be a boy that's CGI'd to look like a wooden doll, or it would just be a CGI wooden doll with
That's gonna give a lot of kids nightmares.
Didn't they make a live action Pinocchio with a nightmare fuel Pinocchio doll? I swear.
I have not seen
was
that.
Was that Geppetto with Drew Carey? Because
I don't know. I can't remember, but I know. Yeah, I swear to God, there was a live action Pinocchio, and Pinocchio had these Jeff the Killer eyes, and he was just the creepiest thing I'd ever seen. And I think it came out when we were kids, and I didn't want to see that. Ugh. I would have rather just watch the original version.
I'm looking it up right now.
Just watch Annabelle, basically.
Yeah, just watch Annabelle. That's honestly a better movie.
No, but this looks disgusting. It's not the same movie, but it just looks terrible. Um,
I don't know if I would want
Are-
to see that.
Overall, are y'all a fan? Also, the chat. I want to hear what y'all's opinion too. Are y'all a fan of these live action movies so far? Because I am not. I honestly have not liked a single one. Aladdin, kind of. I gave like Aladdin like a 6. It was
Yeah, it was
decent.
better than I thought it was gonna be.
But God, I have not liked any of these live action Disney. Kiddo Granger immediately says no.
Harking back to last week's episode, I actually really enjoyed the Jungle Book live action.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought it was really, really good. I don't know why. I just thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a really great new take on that classic story. Maybe it's just because I love the Jungle Book so much. But all the star cast, I know that a lot of these movies do have like a really expensive star cast. But I don't know. For some reason, the cast in that movie was just absolutely perfect. Dave Filoni nailed it in that one. But I definitely had no interest in Lion King. That just looked like a soulless cash grab. I saw Beauty and the Beast when it came out in theaters, and I was bored out of my mind
It was so
the whole
bad.
time.
It
It was pretty
so
bad. I had no interest in Aladdin. I had no interest in Dumbo. I love you, Danny DeVito, but no interest in it. But so my opinion is Jungle Book has been the one and only good one, and that's
Yeah.
it.
I
Matt,
liked
what you-
I've seen I think nearly all of them. I've seen Cinderella, I've seen Jungle Book, I've seen Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion
That's right, they did do
King.
Cinderella. That's right. That was the first one they did.
They technically also did Alice in Wonderland by Tim Burton, which
yeah.
I did like that one. I'm a big Tim Burton fan, so I went to go see it like in that almost came out like I think like a decade ago.
Yeah,
And
those are old.
I did like that one because I'm a huge Tim Burton fan. And Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney movie. I liked some aspects of it. Some of it I left the theater with mixed emotions. I don't know. I feel like none of the live actions have like stood up or exceeded my expectations. I kind of always leave the movie theater kind of wanting more, feeling a little unsatisfied or just completely like dissatisfied. So I don't know. I think that, but I mean, they're still doing it, and if they continue to do it, I figure they might as well make like a Hercules live action, which I think that they are making it. And so
I believe they got Noah Centineo to be.
Oh right,
Let me double check.
Yeah,
I don't
I
want.
think we talked about that.
the teen guy from Netflix, the like teen boy.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know if I like
live
that.
Action. I believe they did get him.
Okay, well they should do like Journey to Atlantis then, maybe.
That would be really interesting.
That
It would
would
be
cool.
so good, would it not? Journey
would be
to
very
Atlantis.
Cole Sprouse for Milo. That's my pick.
Cole Sprouse.
for Milo.
That's a good
That
pick.
would be a good one.
Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, then Joe and Anthony Russo will be producers on the new Hercules.
Oh, interesting.
That's all I see.
I do like the Russo brothers.
I do also. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really say anything about the cast yet, so I think that's probably just speculation. But I would love to have like, I want Jordan Fisher to be in literally everything Disney. Like, I just love Jordan Fisher to death. He's like one of the most talented people.
Yeah.
So if he could be like a younger Hercules, and then they either like make him super buff or like CGI him, go ahead, dude. That guy's got vocals for days.
Yeah.
So Nat, you said that which one was the one that you liked the most?
Probably Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and read what people in the chat are saying because they popped off. People are saying that Disney's lazy. Blue says, I wouldn't say they're lazy because this movies are a lot of work. They're just
Donkey Scene messed me up as a child. That's true. Pinocchio's traumatizing.
It's very traumatizing.
Oh yeah.
Kiddo Granger says that's why I'm excited for Mulan since it's going to be significantly different. It's just a different direction. You know what I want? Shrek 5. You know Mulan might be good. I didn't care for Dumbo either. I'm just sad that there's not going to be any Mushu, which is very sad.
So sad.
I don't believe Disney's super fantasy movies would make good live action movies, which is something I completely agree with. The one I hate the most, and I will say hate the most is the Beauty and the Beast one. Mostly because I am a huge Beauty and the Beast fan. I love Beauty and the Beast, like that. The music.
We were
to
in
that
Beauty
movie,
and the Beast.
We were to be that. That's where we met, Nat. Um, I love the music to that, and like in the Broadway version of that, they have a perfect song called "If I Can't Love Her," which is by far one of the best songs from all Disney. I would say "If I Can't Love Her" and "Proud of Your Boy" from Aladdin, the Broadway version. Those two, it blows my mind that they didn't make it into the final, like they didn't make it at all into like the live action versions, because they had such amazing, like they're so amazing, such heartfelt songs of like "Proud of Your Boy" is about Aladdin talking to his dead mother, his dead parents, and like saying, hey, like I know I am what's it called, I know I'm a failure, and I know like I'm terrible, but I promise one day I'm gonna make you proud of your boy. And that would be a really good like motivational thing. And for "If I Can't Love Her," it's an amazing thing. It's like, hey, like if I can't love this woman, if she can't love me, then everyone I know is gonna be like completely destroyed. And like these songs have such weight, and they're written by Alan Menken, who like rewrote the music again for these musicals. But I guess he's like, I don't want to throw that in there or whatever. But that's my thing. Let's see. Memories. A hard eye emoji. I don't know what that is. Aladdin wasn't bad. It was kind of Aladdin wasn't bad. It was just
Yeah, there's a few stuff in there that I liked.
I liked Will
It
Smith.
was better than what I expected. I
Yeah.
went in with super low expectations. I thought it was gonna be garbage, and it wasn't flaming garbage. It was like pretty good.
All right, so
I'll have
we
to
have
give it a watch. Is it on Disney Plus?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to give it a watch then, because I haven't given it the chance, but maybe I will.
All right, so we have 3 stories left, but we have a little bit of time. So which one do y'all guys want to do? Do y'all guys have a preference of which story you guys want to do? So we have the new Thrawn book, we have the Avengers final preview, and then the Suicide Squad logo.
Dude, that's Suicide Squad.
Are you want to talk about Suicide Squad? We can talk about Suicide Squad.
Sure.
So Suicide Squad. James Gunn's Suicide Squad has revealed a first look at the new logo for the upcoming movie. Gunn stated in a tweet, "The cast and I have so much more to show you." Well, I completely butchered that word in the document. I'm sorry about that. So much more to show you guys on August 22nd at DC Fandom. DC Fandom is a free 24-hour virtual event for DC fans where they will talk about games, TV shows, movies, and comics. Did y'all guys get a chance to see what they actually look like? The actual logos and stuff like that?
I did.
I did see. Yeah. I think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask because I mean, like, it's gonna sound weird, but I was actually a really big fan of the art style in the original Suicide Squad. I love that so much. I love all the character designs, and I loved everything. Honestly, even the Joker, I thought was gonna be awesome because I love that like kind of gangster kind of thing where it's like, it's not like the psychotic. He's still psychotic, but it's like that swaggerish Joker. What I would have loved seeing that. Too bad Jared Leto was not the best for that.
Yeah.
But this one actually gives me like a more confident look at what this next one's gonna be. But like, what do you guys think? Like, did you like it? Does this give you like more confidence in what the movie is gonna look like?
I think it's gonna be. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad. I'm so sorry. I think it's gonna be a little. I don't know. I thought it was gonna feel a little more serious, but then looking at the cast, knowing that it's James Gunn, seeing that Taika Waititi's gonna be in it, I don't know how serious it's gonna be. You have Viola Davis returning, which I think is fantastic. That's a fantastic choice for Amanda Waller. And then you have Idris Elba as an unnamed character. We thought he was going to be Deadshot, but apparently that's not going to be the case. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's going to give us a very like A-Team kind of vibe where it'd be serious-ish, but everybody has their job that's going to get done, and it'll come across as like a light-hearted comedy, which I guess the first one was, but the first one was a little bad, commercial-y. The whole movie felt like a long commercial, and I didn't like it for that reason. This one, I love James Gunn. I think he's going to do a good job. I say that
Very hesitantly.
hesitantly, just because I've wanted the DC universe, the movie universe, to kind of get on its heels and start running, and it has not done that yet. So
Wonder Woman was great. I loved Wonder Woman.
Okay,
it
so
was good.
far, I'm trying to look at the cast
I
list
think
or whatever.
that yeah, it's massive, but I think that it's
Pete Davidson and Nathan Fillion.
yeah,
That's
it's gonna
crazy.
have like
Billion, yes.
anyone and
So good.
everyone, but that's because the like title sequence or title cards or whatever. I think it's really interesting that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 was like super heavily influenced by the 80s,
Mhm.
and then they kind of unveil these title card things. And it's so similar to the Suicide Squad 1980s comic book run. I think
Yeah.
it was, I can't remember his name, Oster, I believe it was. And I feel like that I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 for also all those heavy 80s influences. And so I'm hoping that we kind of see some of that funky stuff in this movie. I also think that it is going to be like a rotating cast because it's so massive, this cast list. There's so many people on there, and I mean, in that comic book run, a lot of people, there's a rotating cast of supporting characters, so it makes sense. Also, I believe John Cena is going to come out in this movie, and
Mhm.
so
I
I'm
mean,
very
will we see
interested.
him though? That's
Yeah, like how are we supposed to even see
like-
him come out? I'm
Get
very
outta here,
interested
Rob.
in seeing how
Oh man, Michael
Terrible.
Rooker, and then we have Captain Boomerang coming back. Polka Dot Man. That's such a. Then Joel Kinnaman, was he the same one that played Rick Flag in the last movie?
I believe so, yeah.
I think.
Yes, it.
I don't know any of
Yes,
their
it is.
names.
So basically, him, Margot Robbie, are the only, and Viola Davis, are the only people that are really coming back. Honestly, that's all I want. I mean, it's okay. I don't. Will Smith was good, but like, let Will Smith be Will Smith. Like, let him hang out for a bit. Let him chill. But Michael Rooker, that's awesome. Pete Davidson, Nathan Fillion. Wow, that's Idris Elba, Taika Waititi. Fantastic cast. And honestly, now now that I'm seeing the cast, I'm getting more excited for this movie because I think it's just
I think
gonna
so
be
too.
Guardians of the Galaxy with Suicide Squad, and it's the only reason why that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 isn't in production yet. Well, minus COVID, but
I would hope that it's different enough, you know. I would want it to give off that same type of vibe, but not have it be like a splitting image of the Guardians, because I would want it to.
Oh
I definitely want it to be different, and I'm sure a lot of people would too. Like, I don't know if y'all ever saw the animated Suicide Squad movie that came out a few years ago.
yeah.
It was really good, and the reason that made it so good is it was basically what the first live action Suicide Squad movie was, but without all the BS in it. It was just Viola Davis, or I'm sorry, Amanda Waller is getting together a team. She needs the bad guys to do a job, and they are completely expendable. And they show that at the very beginning. They're like, "Your lives don't matter to us. You're only here because we're going to pay you enough, or we're going to keep you out of jail, something like that." And they're like, no, this is a trick. And one of them tries to get away, and they like immediately blow his head off. And they're like, "So yeah, we're not messing around. Do your job, and you'll get what you came here for." And the dynamic between the group is really cool in that movie. It doesn't really pull any punches, and it really shows how expendable they are in that movie, and how there's no sort of camaraderie between them. So like, if one of them dies, they don't really care. They just keep going. And I think that I'd hope that that's an aspect of James Gunn's, which is why there is such a large cast, is so that way, oh, he just got shot in the head, whatever, we got to keep going, is to show that, yeah, they're the heroes of the movie, but they're not loyal to one another. They're the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
It could be like Deadpool, where
yeah, kind of like
they
in
had that.
too.
They had that first team, and then they just
They all died in the first like 2 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
All right,
Someone said Ranger Blue said, "Give me a Flash movie," though. I agree.
Flashpoint movie completely reset the entire DC franchise. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's do it.
I don't
DC.
disagree with that. Yeah.
Let's do it, DC.
Start it over, please.
Please. I was gonna reference Deadpool too. Thanks, Zach. All right, well, thank you, everyone. I believe that's gonna be the end of our show today. We don't want to go a little over off like we've been doing recently, but we're very tired. But thank you so much for joining in today. We really, really appreciate it. I want to go ahead and thank some of the people that have followed us. We got 6 people when we're off the air, so I want to go ahead and thank them also. We got Joe Joyer, who is one of our friends. MSPW, got Bazooka687, and INRI0428. I'm sure that's an actual word, but I'm not going to try and butcher it. So thank you very much. Thank you to y'all guys, honestly.
I know that last one.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much to everyone again. I really, really do want to say that because we have actually finally passed the affiliate level. So, the followers to get to affiliate level. So all we really got to do is just stream a little bit more, and we're going to be affiliates. So that's really thanks to y'all guys over here. Thank you for joining us again. I'm going to go ahead and find someone to go ahead and raid. Please go ahead and show them some love because we want to share our community with as many people as we can. So again, thank you very much. Make sure to go to our Twitter and vote. We're going to have our question up in just a little bit right after the show. And please don't make it a tie again. Please at least give me 1 point. I would love to have a point and not be...
Please give me the point.
No, please give me the points. We don't need Matt going 3-0 and having 4 points, leading me and Dan. That'd be terrible. But again, thank you so much, y'all, and y'all guys have a great day.